See, so far what you have studied on sequences, we have started from definition of the sequence, and when we say that sequence is bounded, and when we say that sequence converges, and also monotone sequences. When do you say that sequence Sn or Un is monotonically increasing? If Un plus 1 is greater than Un for all n, and in this case we say that Un is strictly monotonically increasing, and if Un plus 1 is less than Un for all n, then Un is said to be strictly monotonically decreasing. And we have two important results on this. First one, if a sequence is monotonically increasing and bounded above, then it converges to its least upper bound. Similarly, if the sequence is monotonically decreasing and bounded below, then it converges to its greatest lower bound. And we have solved some problems also on that. And also, you have studied algebra of limits. All these topics are important. From examination, you will get definitely one theorem on algebra of limits. Limit of an upon bn is a by b. Limit of an into bn is a into b, and so on. Limit of a plus b is limit a plus limit b, that is a plus b, and so on. And now we have two important theorem, that is due to Cauchy. Cauchy's theorem. First theorem, I take Cauchy's first theorem on limits. What do you mean by limit of a sequence? If a sequence converges to L, then we say that limit of that sequence is L. Suppose the sequence An converges to L, then L is called limit of the sequence An, and we write limit An is L. Now we have two theorems here, that is due to Cauchy, that gives very important formula to evaluate or to verify convergence of a sequence. Two theorems are there. Now from examination point of view, proof is also important. Here usually statement will be given. Prove this theorem. What is the theorem? See, the statement is like this. If I have taken xn or un, that I have to see xn. If xn is a sequence converging to L, xn converges to L, then the sequence Can. What is An? An is equal to x1 plus x2 plus xn upon n also converges to L. This is first theorem. If xn is a sequence which converges to L, or L is the limit of the sequence xn, then the sequence An, how An is defined? This is nth term of this sequence An. What is the nth term? x1 plus x2 plus xn upon n. That also converges to L. Very important result. First I explain proof of this, then I take some problems which can be solved using this Cauchy's theorem. I think statement all have followed this. In the examination, the statement will be given, not Cauchy's first theorem or second theorem. Usually statement will be given. What is the statement? If limit xn is L, or if sequence xn converges to L, then the sequence An, whose nth term is given by x1 plus x2 plus xn by L, n, also converges to L. Now see how this proof is done here. Proof of the theorem is, I explain, we define xn is Cn plus L. L is this L only. What is given here? Xn converges to L. Let us take xn is Cn plus L. Therefore, what is x1? Cn plus L. Yes, Cn plus L. x1 is C1 plus L. x2 is c2 plus L and so on. And also, what is this Cn? Cn is xn minus L. Xn minus L. So we start the proof with this. Xn is Cn plus L. Therefore, An is, what is An? C1 plus L plus C2 plus L plus so on plus Cn plus L. Cn plus L. It is therefore An is therefore An is x1 plus x2 plus xn upon n is there, correct? Huh? Upon n is there. So we have defined this one. It is important step. We start with this. Xn is Cn plus L. Then what is An? C1 plus L, C2 plus L, Cn plus L upon n. Or it is 1 upon n into C1 plus C2 plus etc. plus Cn plus how many L are there? 1, 2, 3, Nn. Or it is C1 plus C2 plus etc. plus Cn upon n plus L plus L. This is An. This is An. Now, see, if we prove that C1 plus C2 plus Cn upon n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity, this C1 plus C2 plus Cn upon n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity, then the limit An also becomes L. Limit An becomes L. What is An here? C1 plus L, C2 plus L, Cn plus L upon n, because An is x1 plus x2 plus xn upon n. But we have started with taking xn as Cn plus L. So An is C1 plus C2 plus Cn upon n plus L. But if we prove that this is 0 as n tends to infinity, then limit An is also L. So what is our next thing? We prove that this C1 plus C2 plus Cn upon n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. So the proof is, now we have to prove that C1 plus C2 plus Cn upon n becomes 0. We have Cn is xn minus L. Therefore, since xn tends to L as n tends to infinity. Why xn tends to L? Because it is given limit xn is L. Correct? See the statement. What is the statement? Sequence xn converges to L. Therefore, Cn tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. Cn tends to 0. This implies for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a natural number, say m, belongs to n, such that mod Cn minus 0 is less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m. Say, since Cn is xn minus L, as this, as n tends to infinity, as a limit xn is L, Cn also tends to 0. So what do you get? For epsilon greater than 0, there exists m belongs to n, so that mod Cn minus 0 is less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m. This implies sequence Cn is convergent. We have studied definition of convergence. Cn is convergent. This implies sequence Cn is bounded. Say, by our definition, since Cn is xn minus L, Cn also tends to 0 as n tends to infinity, because xn tends to L. Therefore, sequence Cn converges to 0. And this implies, since every convergent sequence is bounded, this sequence Cn is bounded. Therefore, mod Cn is less than m for all n. When do you say that sequence is bounded? We say that sequence is bounded if mod Cn is less than m. Take this as 3, this as 2. We go through that numbers. This is 2, 3. Now, to prove that, what do you have to prove? We have to prove that C1 plus C2 plus etc. plus Cn upon n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. This we have to prove. Consider mod C1 plus C2 plus etc. plus Cn upon n minus 0. This is mod C1 plus C2 plus etc. plus Cn upon n. Now we come to the main thing or main proof here. We have to prove that C1 plus C2 plus Cn upon n is 0. Then what happens? From 1, limit an also tends to L. What is an? x1 plus x2 plus xn upon n also tends to L. So we have to prove this one. Now it is less than or equal to, using modulus, it is less than or equal to 1 upon n mod C1 mod C2 plus mod C3 plus so on mod Cm plus mod Cm plus 1 plus so on plus mod Cn. Mod Cn, because n is greater than or equal to m. N is greater than or equal to m. We write this as Cn as Cm plus Cm plus 1 plus Cn. Now, it is less than or equal to 1 upon n into, see now we use 3. What does 3 gives? From 3 we have mod Cn is less than m for all n. Correct? And for all n greater than or equal to m, from 2 mod Cn is less than epsilon by 2. Therefore, for all n greater than or equal to m, mod Cn is less than epsilon by 2 means from this we take less than epsilon by 2. Say we take it is less than m plus m etc. plus how many times it is? M minus 1 times. M minus 1 times plus epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2. How many times it is? N plus 1 minus m times. Understand this one? See, we have mod C. What we have to prove? We have to prove that mod C1 plus C2 plus Cn upon n minus 0 is less than epsilon. This is less than epsilon. For that we have 2 and 3. From 3 we have mod C1, C2 all are less than m. But we take up to m minus 1, it is less than m. And from m, Cm, Cm plus 1, Cn so on, from 2 it is less than epsilon by 2. Here 1 to m minus 1, therefore m minus 1 times less than m. Now from m to n here, m means m plus 0, m plus 1 so on Cn. Therefore 0 to n means n plus 1 minus m times, because we have not started with 0 or 1, we have started with m. And m to n means n plus 1 times n plus 1 minus m times. I think you followed this one. Now therefore it is mod C1 plus C2 plus etc. plus Cn minus 0 is less than 1 upon n into m minus 1 m minus 1 times m plus n plus 1 minus m epsilon by 2. Now it is, I think this step is clear. All have followed this one. Next is, it is m minus 1 by n m plus 1 upon n is for both, it is epsilon by 2n into n plus 1 minus m. N plus 1 minus m. Now we take, it is n plus 1 minus m upon n is less than 1. Right, less than 1. N plus 1 minus m is there, upon n means it is less than 1. Therefore it is less than epsilon by 2 because it is less than 1, plus m minus 1 upon n into m. Here numerator also involves n, but here only denominator involves n, and we take n plus 1 minus m upon n is less than 1. Now as n tends to infinity, this becomes 0. This becomes 0. Therefore, as n tends to infinity, m minus 1 upon n into m is less than epsilon by 2. Epsilon by 2, or mod of this is less than epsilon by 2, because as n tends to infinity, this becomes 0, or it is less than epsilon by 2. Epsilon is arbitrary. Now we take this as 4. This as 4. Now from 4, what do we get? From 4, mod C1 plus C2 plus etc. plus Cn is less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2. It is for all n greater than or equal to m. For all n greater than or equal to m. We have already used m, therefore we use here for all n greater than or equal to m1, and p is maximum of m and m1. Then for all p greater than or equal to n. For all n greater than or equal to p, we take this is less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m1. There exists m1, so that for all n greater than or equal to m1, it is less than epsilon by 2. Now we have 2. See, we have 2 where we have taken m for all n greater than or equal to m. Therefore, take p as maximum of m and m1. For all n greater than or equal to p, we have this. So, mod C1 plus C2 plus Cn is less than etc. Cn less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to p. Now what does this implies? This implies, is it upon n is there? Just a minute, upon n is there. Go through that proof. Upon n is there. N is less than epsilon, correct? Less than epsilon, upon n is there. This implies mod C1 or C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus etc. plus Cn upon n tends to 0. Tends to 0. So from 1 limit x1 plus x2 plus xn plus etc. plus xn upon n is also L. So see, the theorem is like this. If limit xn is L, xn is a sequence, so that limit xn is L, then limit x1 plus x2 plus xn upon n is also L. Very important result. I think proof all of you followed. You go through the video again and make the notes, and if you have any difficulty, you can ask at any time. Now this is very important theorem in solving many problems. Now I take one problem on this. Show that limit n tends to infinity 1 upon square root of 2n square plus 1 plus 1 upon square root of 2n square plus 2 plus etc. 1 upon square root of 2n square plus n is equal to 1 upon root 2. Is equal to 1 upon root 2. Now in this problem we apply Cauchy's theorem, first theorem. How do you apply the theorem? Let xn is n divided by square root of 2n square plus n. Then limit xn n tends to infinity is limit n tends to infinity. How do you take n tends to infinity? 1 upon square root of 2 plus 1 upon n. It is therefore 1 by root 2. Here divide numerator denominator by n, because as n tends to infinity means we have to take 1 upon n tends to 0. 1 by root 2. Now limit xn is L, therefore limit x1 plus x2 plus etc. plus xn upon n is also L. This is Cauchy's theorem. Therefore limit 1 upon n, what is x1? x1 is 1 upon root 2n square plus 1 plus 1 upon n into, just a minute, 1 upon root 2n square plus etc. n is 1 upon root 2n square plus n, followed, no, this is 1 upon root 2. By Cauchy's first theorem, 1 upon n into n by root n square plus 1, n by square root of 2n square plus 2, n by square root of 2n square plus 3, plus so on, plus n by square root of 2n square plus n is also 1 by root. Is also 1 by root. Now 1 upon n into, we take here xn is L, limit xn is L. Therefore limit 1 upon n, x1 plus x2 plus xn is also L. What is x1? n by root 2n square plus 1. x2 is n by root 2n square plus 2. x3 is n by root 2n square plus 3, and so on. Therefore limit 1 upon n, x1, x2, x3, xn is also 1 upon root 2. Now if you can cancel this, say this n get cancels, you will get 1 upon root 2n square 1 upon root 2n square plus 2, 1 upon root 2n square plus 3, 1 upon root 2n square plus n is also 1 upon root 2.